Good morning, St. John's College Giants. This is Tremel Smith, class of 1983, and I'm here interviewing Mrs. Alma Adams. She's a graduate of St. John's College, and for a period she also taught as well. So she will get into a little bit more detail with us about her time at SJC, any of the persons, any names of her classmates she remembers, and any other highlights of her time at the great St. John's College. Good morning, Mrs. Adams. How are you?
Good morning, Jamel. It's a pleasure to talk about my alma mater, St. John's College. I walked into the doors of St. John's College that should have been 1962 or 1961, and went into Form 1B and downstairs and at the old campus in the two-story building. I was fortunate to have been qualified to go to St. John's because I can remember I was in Western Senior School and grade 7. And when the results came out, at first, they didn't call off my name on the list, and I was horrified. I said, "Oh, it has to be St. John's," because I didn't even go to write the exam for Government I.
Right.
My love was St. John's College. I was influenced by the Bailey children, Jack Adderley, Carmen Adderley, and all of those.
Right.
And anyhow, as it turned out, another list came around and called the name Alma Hutchinson, and then my joys of going to St. John's began at that point. St. John's influenced my path throughout my life to this very day, through the high standards of not only education, but personal training that we, the students of St. John's, received at that time. We had to go to Mass every Thursday morning.
Yes.
At St. Agnes, and so we had to wear our
With the beanie.
With the beanies, yes. But St. John's taught us a lot of discipline. Of course, our principal, our headmaster, was Father William Bishop. And I'm sure when you interview anybody from St. John's during my time, it's impossible for them to talk about their time at St. John's without talking about the great influence that William Bishop had on our lives.
What year did you graduate?
I graduated in 1967. Actually, I graduated the year my spiritual father died. That's Father Milton Cooper. When they were rolling his body into St. Agnes Church that Thursday, I was upstairs writing my RK exam. And I became so emotional. I just flunked that exam. I couldn't believe he died just when I had was completing my studies at St. John's. Actually, I was like his daughter, because when I came down the hill every end of term, he was waiting in the chair on the porch to receive my report card.
Right.
So I had to go in there first. He saw it before my mother saw it. Yeah. And sometimes it was bad in terms of I just made it over the red line because I had favorite subjects, Latin, Spanish, English language, and literature. But the other subjects in the first 3 years of St. John's, I just was happy, carefree, and gay. I was a jacket. So, but I always made it over. And so he would chastise me and say, Alma, you have to do better. He'd say, but anyhow, I have some cake for you on the dining room table
Wow,
and some
okay.
fruits that I've saved for you. He spoiled me. And so I was devastated when Milton Cooper died. Also, I didn't know at the time, I found out years later that he was responsible for ensuring that I received a scholarship from St. Agnes Vestry
Okay.
to attend St. John's College.
Alright.
And so and so my heart has always been in St. Agnes as well.
St. Agnes and St. John's go hand in hand.
They go hand in hand, yes.
So who were some of your notable classmates?
All of them were so notable.
Well, you know, give
But
us some names.
some of my closer friends were Donita Seymour, who's now deceased, Barris Williams. Christine Burroughs was really my best friend because we were both so in love with Spanish.
Is she still alive?
Oh yeah, she's Dunstan Burroughs' younger sister. There were three of us who always got the top grades in Spanish. It was either Christine Burroughs, myself, or Sharon Dillett. And we always maintained first, second, and third in Spanish. And so we were we were the ones
The
who
trio,
was
the Spanish trio.
we were so enamored by the Spanish language. And so but fortunately I was the one to go on and utilize my knowledge, the knowledge of Spanish that I gained the knowledge and the prowess of Spanish that I gained at St. John's. My Spanish teachers were Maria Holdem and Hilda Knowles. When we first went to St. John's in Form 1, we had a Mr. John who really didn't teach us much Spanish, but the other two, they impacted my life tremendously in terms of Spanish, especially Hilda Knowles, because she taught us so many Spanish songs, and so we learned Spanish by through many songs.
Did you teach y'all the cockroach song? La
Oh,
cucaracha?
oh yeah. There's no song. There's no song that Hilda Knowles didn't teach us. She was my model. She was my model. And as a result of Hilda Knowles' influence on my life, I led a group of us students who had a Spanish club. And so we used to perform Spanish songs in our hibiscus in our hair and our white tops on our shoulders and our floral skirts. And yeah, we were the bomb.
That's true.
Oh yes, because we used to have every year we used to have a Christmas. Well, it was the high school concert and plays at the old St. Agnes on schoolroom on Market Street, yeah,
and
Coburn Street, yeah, lovely memories. The other persons in my class were a lot of the lawyers of today, Sam Campbell and Roger Gomez, Oswald Brown, who's now deceased, Julian Brown's younger brother, Andrea Munnings, quite a number of outstanding students were actually in the 1B, 2B, 3B class with me. But of course, we had Sharon Wilson, Frankie Wilson, and all of those.
Sharon Wilson graduated as well.
Oh yeah, but she was in 1A. Oh no, she
graduated as well.
Yeah, she was in 1A.
So that's where they met, her and her husband.
Oh, undoubtedly. Frankie and Sharon, they were both members of the debating team, and that's where they were very, very well known during those years.